All right, that's enough. Hello, listeners. I am Michael Waller, here with the Alive on One podcast, and today we're going to be talking about Star Wars Shatterpoint. Today I have me is with Jian.
Hello.
Jian is also a Shatterpoint player, just like myself, and we also have Sean.
Hey guys, what's up?
So, what's up, guys? Oh, yeah, I'm so excited to talk about more Shatterpoint. I freaking just love Star Wars in general.
You're so generous calling me a Shatterpoint player as opposed to just a buyer of Shatterpoint boxes.
Hey, man, the models are beautiful and they're amazingly to paint. I love painting the Shatterpoint models, 100%. Today, we're going to have a little bit of a different kind of episode. We're going to be doing a list building episode. We're going to build Jian a premier list for the Mandalorian and all the Mandos. But before we get into that, we will do our Live on One stories. So Jian, I see that you have first on the dock, so you can go ahead and go first.
Oh yeah, I got to play against my local Terry. Shout outs to Terry, who I apologize publicly on this cast before.
Terry's awesome.
Terry's great. I got to play. He wanted to play a game, and it was getting kind of late at the shop, so I figured I'll just run the Inhumans list. Going back to MCP for a second, and there are three separate instances of a Live on One. The first one was Bolt not going down, which allowed him to do a key bodyguard into Black Hat with an objective, which saved her bacon. And then later in the game, we just kept the scoring pressure on so much that we needed both Gorgon and Black Hat to both live, and they were both alive on one to score out the final 16 points of the game, and they were able to do so. Yeah, it was just like, Terry was doing the calculus, and he needed spec to just pop off and just do everything to get things done. But I still had a last-minute brace for impact, so the throw couldn't sink it in at the end of the day, which was a big deal. So yeah, that was
nice.
That's my Live on One for MCP for our brief little detour here.
Oh, Jian going back to the dark times with Inhumans.
It will give you a fast game when the shop's going to close soon. That's what they're good at.
Yeah, sure. I had a great Alive on One story today in my TTS Invitational Secret Wars League. I basically had a Prowler who did everything he needed to do without dying. So playing foes against foes, awesome game. My opponent was awesome. I had Prowler in on a Mutant Madman on the corner. I didn't have priority to start the round. Prowler was on full health. Basically, Doc Ock was hanging out right next to him. Went with Ock, got to throw some people into him. Double tapped him, actually triple tapped him using Surprise Webhead. Left Prowler alive on one. He then, with his activation, charged down to the South Point Madmen and whacked Lizard, his unsuspecting damaged Lizard, smacked him around a bit and took advantage of his juiced kit on 10 power and took Lizard out and really helped me kind of swing the game and turn it in my favor. And I had a couple games with Prowler in the past, maybe 3 or 4, but this was probably the most impactful one I had, and it was really just damage, which is kind of not what I'm used to doing with him, and it was cool to see that side of him, but great showing nonetheless.
Yeah, it turns out if you have a builder with a Pierce mechanic and also the ability just to, Ayabagamoto your dice for 2 power, it's actually okay for offensive output.
Yeah, the best part was my opponent and I were talking about it during the game, and both of my initial rolls were, I'm pretty sure I had a success per roll, and I used the reroll both times, and it translated to, I think it actually translated to either 4 or 5 successes on each redo, and that really helped swing it. Otherwise, Prowler would have dove in and did a whole lot of nothing. So it was really cool to see that. And that's usually he's diving points. He's not using the reroll all very often, but man, when it comes up and it's important, it works. It's great.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's just nice to have the option there, right? Because sometimes you're just like, I just need like 2 power on him to just do what he needs to do. But sometimes it's like, well, now that I have 9 power, what are my new options that I have? And it turns out he can probably kill people pretty
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. No, you're not kidding. He's one of those pieces early on where I kind of looked at him and said, he's kind of squishy. And I wasn't sure how I felt about him, but he is able to fit this scenario for however you need it to be. So if he needs to be offensive, he can easily be. And if you need him to be scenario focused, he can do that really well too. So he is a very, very all around, he's a very balanced piece for a list like that. And I think not only foes, but I think he's a good splash piece in some lists that could really use maybe not the firepower, but could really use the objective scoring, component of his kit.
Yeah, no, I think just being when you have that ability just to refund power whenever you try to interact with the I think it's a secure, right? Or no, just any objective, he just gets a power back, right?
Yeah, when you're interacting with an objective, he refunds the power on the first go. So yeah, and whether you're picking up or whether you're interacting. Mm-hmm.
That is really nice. Yeah, no, there's so many teams that like are kind of at a power deficit when there's a pay to flip scenario. That now that if you have that like meta wise, you can be like, oh, I have this 4 threat like slot that I can just put in, and he can also absolutely cover that, which is really really nice.
Yeah, I mean, foes wise and other affiliations wise, the one thing that I think is really awesome with him is that he can take a extract on your side and fulfill. If it's a pay to flip, he can take the point as well, then shores up the rest of your flanks to maybe dive or go do something else. So he kind of, I wouldn't say that he rewards good play, but he also is a good, if you made a mistake in positioning, he kind of cleans that up for you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he's relatively forgiving, right, scenario wise.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
I've actually dealt with him tonight. He went. Yeah. Sorry, I talking about Prowler, right?
Yeah. How did it go?
All right. Sorry, I said connection issues. I'm back. So he went and flipped an M. Will was using him. He went and flipped an M-Cron with him, and then went and picked up the sample. And I was like, oh yeah, he could do that. I did not expect that because he got the power back from flipping the sample.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's one of the best. Personally, I think it's like the best thing on his kit because he can swing VPs so hard. I mean, 2, right? He can threaten 2 a turn, and that's pretty darn, that's attractive for a 4 threat.
Yeah. No, he's great. He's a great addition for them. All right. I'll go next. I dealt with Tuesday Will tonight about an hour and a half ago. This is fresh. I left his Rhino, Prowler, and Tigra all on 1. At the end of the round 3, and if I got one of them, I would have been able to close it out. Not close out the game, go another round, but because I couldn't kill any of them with my all webbed up turn, Will was able to score a bajillion points and went up like 20-10 at the end of the round. It was freaking awesome. He custom upgrades his Rhino onto King T, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna go with Miles. And I did 2 spenders and couldn't kill him, and then Rhino just proceeded to do 1 attack into King T and just one-shotted him, and then stampede into Wong and then killed Wong. It was glorious.
Listeners, if you don't know what we're talking about, Will, our local Malware Crisis Protocol TO at New Jersey, is an absolute monster on Tuesdays. We don't know what sort of nocturnal spelling is happening here, but it is frightening to play against him sometimes.
Oh, yes. I every time he has dice in his hand, I get scared on Tuesdays. It was a good time. It was a good time. It was also my first time seeing Tigra on the table, and that was a lot of fun to play against her.
She's really good. Like I that it's a great model. If you don't know or you're unsure about it, put her on the table. She's fantastic, actually.
Yeah, she's not bad with the Goblin leadership just because she has the Pierce, and then you just make me reroll a die, too. That caught me off guard a couple times. Yeah, I like her a lot. So yeah, those are our alive on ones.
Nice.
Yeah. So hobby catch up. I'm trying to pull up the Google. I'm trying to pull up the Google Doc again because I don't know where it went.
Yeah. I think you have something down for your webs, Mike. Like,
Oh yeah. I've just been working on my webs. Today I'm working on my repaint of Ghost Spider, which I sent you guys a picture of. And I made her kind of look like she's glitching out, but she's not done yet. And then when she's done, I'm gonna post pictures. She got a bunch of wacky colors on her right now. That's just what I've been working on.
You got to post those photos in the Discord, man. That Gwen is awesome.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I just want to finish all of them. Like my whole roster, I'm gonna have for packs. Once I decide on the final 2 pieces, I'm gonna post everything. I want to take like really nice pictures. My girlfriend's gonna use her camera, and I'm gonna like set up a mat with like some buildings and stuff, and just take some really nice photos for them.
You want a group photo?
Yeah, like a group photo.
Nice.
And then individual photos too. I want to have a whole photo shoot for my webs. They deserve it.
makes sense. I mean, like it's going to look really good. Like I love the concept, and I'm going to see the final execution on these.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll move on. Life stuff. Do you guys have anything for life?
Just grinding out the normal stuff. Nothing extra special.
John, anything new with you?
Yeah, same thing. A lot of family, a lot of working. The government shutdown has been super, super fun for me. But yeah, also, real quick, hobby stuff. I know I didn't put it in there, but I have started working on my General Grievous.
Oh, dude,
and
yeah,
he is like I'm almost scared to start painting him because I know how much time I'm going to want to put into him. I did a massive rework on the Legion version of Grievous, and I got pretty obsessed with him because Grievous is one of my favorite Star Wars characters. So
that is funny because Grievous is one of my least favorite characters.
Really?
Yeah, I like. Okay, no, let me rephrase.
That's fair, though. I get it.
His canon version, his legend version is awesome. His canon version, I don't like.
His canon version makes him feel very like a coward.
Yes.
Yeah. And I know exactly what you mean, but he's such a beautiful model, and I'm not great with object source lighting when it comes to painting. And that's something I really want to get good at. It's kind of funny because if you when you play Shatterpoint and you want to kind of make the models realistic when it comes to doing paint jobs, you kind of need to learn how to do OSL with the lightsabers, and it's very difficult. It's also not something that you can just jump into and do. OSL is extremely difficult to get right.
Yeah, I just started doing that with them. I did it on my Mace Windu. I actually like how it came out.
Nice.
I'll send you a picture when we're done too.
Okay.
But I need to get better at it. I feel like if you have an airbrush, it helps out a lot more.
Yes. Yeah. I have friends that use airbrushes, and I've used them before to prime models. I just don't love them for paint, but I do know what you mean. They can definitely work in your favor. You just have to be very masterful with the sprayer when it comes to doing it.
What I like the priming aspect too, but my airbrush broke about 2 months ago, and I've been meaning to get a new one, like my nozzle. So I haven't been able to use it. But what I use it for my MCP models, what I would do is take like Droopy Violet shade from Citadel and water it down to like a 1 to 5 mixture, like 1 drop Droopy Violet to like 5 drops water, and then put it in the airbrush and then use it as like an undershade for a lot of the MCP models.
Ooh, okay. I see what you mean.
And
nice.
it gives them like a nice shadow that's not black.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have it on my like Quicksilver, and I like that's my favorite one just because he's all blue and he's bright. But then like the shadow areas where you get shadow, it's like very like a dark, like the Droopy Violet mixes it with the blue and make it like very dark. It just looks really nice. That's what I like using the airbrush for.
Yeah, so I'm gonna experiment with it and see what I can do. But Grievous is he's on my list. I don't love Separatists, but he's just a model I can't ignore, and he was gifted to me, so I cannot wait to start painting him.
Yeah, no, he needs justice. I know I said it in our last episode, but for Shatterpoint viewers, if you don't know what that model looks like, go look at that model.
It's got to be one of the best looking ones, and it's an early model too.
Yeah, it's big, just like the Aqua Droids. It's a big model.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely. You gotta send pictures when that's done.
Oh, I will for sure.
Yeah. Life stuff for me. I just had a job interview today. I'm not gonna go too depth into it. I just hope I get the position. And I want to work full time while finishing out school too, because I like having money. So that's really the only thing that's up for me.
If you get it, does that mean you get to go to WTC next year?
I feel like that might be the opposite, actually.
Dang.
Like I feel like if I get this job, then depending on vacation, like I'm gonna not be able to go to Scroggles either.
Put the PTO in advance. Give him a year time in advance.
I don't know how much I get though, because I am going to Japan with Alana for 2 weeks in the summer.
Oh, yeah, that might take up most of it then.
Yeah, so we already booked everything. God bless that girl. She got all of the hotels that we're staying at and the air flight to California and then to Japan and then back for $950 for each of us.
What?
That's going to be an awesome trip too.
That's so good.
I don't know what my girlfriend, I don't know what wonders she does, but she's like, oh, okay, it's going to be like $1,500 total. I was like, all right, whatever. I was like, I'll send you the money right now. She's like, no, just give me a day. Or she was like, give me 2 or 3 days and me see if I can get cheaper stuff. Literally, like 5 hours later, she calls me and she's like, okay, it's going to be $950. I was like, what? I was like, what did you do? And she's like, just don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't get too in detail with me. Just know that we're good.
Yeah, and
Don't
I saw
ask about the airline. We're good.
Yeah, I saw the hotels that we're staying at too. Like they look fantastic. So
That'll be an awesome trip.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's been on our bucket list. That Croatia and Germany, and we're getting one of the 3 off next year. And then we want to get Croatia and Germany off at the same time. I like to travel a lot with her.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna do upcoming events now. So we have PAX Unplug in Philadelphia on November 21st. That is coming up. There is MCP on the Friday, and then there's Shatterpoint on the Saturday and Sunday. So if you guys are interested in that, coming to PAX, I definitely recommend it. I think there's still some spots left for MCP, maybe like 2 or 3, and then there's a lot of spots left for Shatterpoint. I might be doing Shatterpoint. I'm 50-50 right now. It honestly just depends how school goes. If I need the 2 days to study, but if I don't, I plan on doing Shatterpoint too. And that's going to be a 2-day event. Saturday and the Sunday. Sunday is going to be top 8 for Shatterpoint. And it is premiere format. And AMG is going to be there. So there's going to be a lot of AMG merch. That should definitely come. I know me, Jin, Sean, Eric, and Steven are all going to go there, at least for MCP. Sean, are you thinking about going for Shatterpoint too?
No, probably just MCP right now. I don't think. Okay. I think Shatterpoint is something that I'm definitely going to consider in the future. But for right now, I'm just going to kind of stick to what I've been grinding with.
Yeah, totally. Okay, and next we have the Rebellion and Outer Rim at the Battle Sander. Oh, Jim put this. This is a league from December 1st to February 13th. Do you want to elaborate a little bit on it, Jin?
Oh, no, it's just my local store is actually just spinning up a new league in December 1st. So if you're interested, please come down to the Battle Standard in East Windsor, Connecticut. I believe they meet every Monday, but this league, I think they'll actually have paired opponents. So you can coordinate with your opponent to meet up and play. And it should be 5 games over the course of 11 weeks. So you have 2 rounds, 2 weeks basically to finish a round, just to fit in people's schedules, which is very, very nice and forgiving. Oh, yeah. The group at my local shop are really nice. They're very, very chill people. So you'll get like a nice set of games and a friendly time. So yeah, please come down.
Oh, right on, man. I'm currently in a Shatterpoint league myself at Red Seal, and I'm having a blast with it. So if you are in the area, I definitely encourage you try join the league. Next, we have Standoff in Portland, Maine, November 22nd to 23rd. That is Maddox's tournament. He's going to be hosting that. So if you're in the New England area, it's also the same weekend as PAX. There's a couple of people signed up. I think there's some spots left. Definitely encourage you all to go do that. That is an MCP event. That's going to be a lot of fun. And as Jin loves, you can get some nice clam chowder.
Dude, I'm so mad that chowder's so far away now. Like...
Yeah, I gotta try it. Like, maybe we just gotta take a trip up just for the chowder. You keep raving about it.
I know. I'm worried I'm building it too much, but like, legitimately, like, it's like this man. Ever since the chowder pot like closed down in my area, like, there's not a lot of like good seafood place unless I go to the shoreline, basically. But what they got going on in Maine is like even a cut above like that, and I was very impressed.
My
which just it's like when I got ramen in Tokyo, I was just like, shit. Now
oh, dude, I'm so excited,
I
man.
I I'm
I'm so excited.
it's like I'm glad I had it, but I'm also mad that I had it because now like I'm here in the States. I'm just like I probably will have a very hard time finding something of similar quality, you know?
Yeah, yeah, dude, I can't wait to have a bunch of ramen and sushi. I love Japanese cuisine. I'm trying to get I'm trying to figure out there's a restaurant that is in a subway in Tokyo that has the number one rated Michelin star sushi spot and is run by just one dude and it's only sits like 16 people and it there's like no menu to it. You just come in, you sit down, you pay, and he just gives you whatever. And apparently it's some of the best sushi you ever have in your life.
Yeah, so on the omakase style is basically like it's like a chef's choice kind of situation. There's a lot of state restaurants in the states that are like that too, where you come in, you pay like a hundo to 300, depending on like what tier of restaurant you go to, basically. And yeah,
Yeah.
they'll just serve you like these like 1 2 bite things, and you'll get full because it's such like dense but for good quality food.
Yeah. Oh, that I can't wait. I can't wait for next summer. Um Okay, and next we have Everwinter, December 5th to 7th. There's going to be MCP. I believe there's Shatterpoint. I actually don't know.
There is, yes.
There is?
The Shatterpoint tickets are also available if on sale as well. So yep, you can get the convention pass, and also then you buy separately a Shatterpoint tournament pack as well,
Yeah.
and you will be set for the weekend there for Shatterpoint events.
Okay, that's awesome. Jin and Steven are going. Or actually, I don't know if Steven Borg's going. I kind of forgot. We're going to force Sean to go. I will not be there. Actually, I might actually go now. That's actually something that is new. Now I might be able to go. It really just depends how much girlfriend points I get. If I'm able to go, to be honest, because that is around the time of me and Halana's birthday, but most likely not. And then we have Captain Con that is going to be MCP tournaments January 30th to February 2nd. It's also singles on the 30th. It is all Highlander. It's a 3-person team tournament, so no repeat crisis cards, tactics cards, or characters between the 3 teams.
Yep, the 3 team members must have a completely unique roster, basically. So it'll be very interesting to see what people come up with. So yeah, please sign up as soon as you can. They'll take a tally basically by the end of November, I think, for as far as like what's the current snapshot of the size of the tournament, so they can dole out prizes. So the more people that sign up in this month, the bigger the prize pool is going to be for participants. So please sign up if you're interested in doing a 3-team event. If you can't find a partner or partners, let me know, and we can start getting a pool of mercenaries together, and you guys can form a team. It should be a good time.
Yeah, I plan on doing that with Rob right now, and I'm honestly I'm debating about just playing Magneto, to be honest.
Do it.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of fun.
No one's prepared for Magneto.
Yeah. It might be nice to dive into some Brotherhood. I love how my Juggernaut's painted. I painted him like the Deadpool 2 movie with the yellow jumpsuit.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. All my Deadpool models, or like all the models that were in the Deadpool movie, so Deadpool, Cable, Domino, and Juggernaut, I all painted them from the movie. So I gave like Domino an afro, and I painted Cable how his outfits from the movie. So yeah. Okay. So I guess how we're gonna like dive into this. So Jin hasn't played a lot of Shatterpoint, but me and Sean have. So we kind of built a list for Jin with the models that he has. So the first iteration of the list is just models that Jin have, so the boxes he has, and then later on we're gonna how we can expand on this, and we're basically building him a premier list if he was to go to a tournament this weekend with the models that he has and like the logic behind the models we pick, and just have some fun, really. So to start, let's start with Mando. So Jin, why are we playing the Mandalorians for you?
This is mostly because myself and my partner have gotten into the Mandalorian, and we love Grogu. So we're just going to start from just a cute ensemble lore perspective of why we're playing this character. But also, rules wise, I think he's a very well rounded character. He works with a lot of different tags, and he's able to sort of like fit where you need him to do a job. Right? He can displace, he can take people down, and he sort of keeps himself in the game by making sure that you guys are topped off, like, and he himself is able to heal and just move around the board a lot as the game progresses. And people are obviously going to get, what would you say? Is it called dazed or injured or what is it?
Wounded.
Yeah,
Wounded. Yeah, as people get wounded, right? So he'll just keep triggering his identity.
Yeah, for MCP standards, wounded basically like days. Like it's like the same thing essentially. Okay. All right. And then where sorry, I keep losing the thing. So we'll go into the primaries. So obviously we have the Mandalorian. Actually, before I get into that, Sean, what do you think about the Mandalorian?
As you mean, like as a for like content as like a character or like in game?
Both.
So I religiously watched the show. Obviously, it's gearing up for a movie, but the show is incredible. The acting is incredible. The casting is incredible. Star Wars TV shows are so back.
Oh yeah, honestly, I think casting is the best Star Wars content.
Oh, Andor is like chef's kiss. I could sit here for hours and discuss Andor with you guys.
It's freaking phenomenal. Jian, have you watched it?
Oh yeah, I love Andor because like it shows all these portions of just like daily life in Star Wars that I don't get to see in the other movies, and that the slower pacing is like really nice, to sort of like feel more lived in than some of the other things. It's like, oh, here's another desert planet with outposts, yay!
Yep. Yeah,
right.
No, it is fantastic. I remember it was at like 3 a.m. and the new episodes dropped, and I was like, F it, I don't got anything tomorrow, I'm gonna watch them right now. And then the episode, spoilers if you guys haven't seen it, the Gorgon Massacre episode was just I think that was one of the best TV shows I've ever watched. TV episodes, I've ever watched. It was just phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, also Mandalorian as a character, as Jin was saying too, he really is kind of a jack of all trades for a character. I mean, he doesn't. I mean, 3-Force is fine, but really, I mean, he can heal. He can disrupt. He can push. He can add dice. I mean, he really can do whatever you need him to do. I like that he has the scoundrel tag as well.
Yes,
kind of means that you can play him with some other interesting things. Because I think I play Bad Batch, and I know they're scoundrels.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a really cool interaction to be able to throw some of those things together. He really is just and I think AMG knows this, right? Mandalorian is such a loved character that it would be kind of in their best interest to make an all-around, well-rounded character that can see the field often.
Yeah. They definitely meant to do that. It's weird when you play games and like the main characters aren't like up to par, I guess. Kind of how like Anakin was in the beginning.
Yeah, well, Anakin now is a murder machine.
Yeah, he's freaking all over the place.
Yeah,
I do like what you said about Mando being a jack of all trades, that he can work with a lot of people, and that would go a lot into our list building. And when you look at our the list building that we did for Jin, there's a lot of synergy that you wouldn't expect that he can get just because of that scoundrel tag. There's rebel characters that are scoundrels. There's Empire characters that are scoundrels. There are Republic characters that are scoundrels, and there's Separatist characters that are scoundrels. There's a bunch of scoundrels in all different factions that he can pair with a lot of different characters from different eras and get benefits for it.
Yeah, it's cool to see it too, because when the game first started out, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but I think that R2-D2 and why am I blanking on it? It was a Rebels pack with Luke.
Oh, the
Lando and R2-D2.
Bar 2.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're scoundrels. They have the scoundrel tag as well, don't they? Or no, sorry, they have the spy tag, I believe.
They have spy and scoundrel.
Okay, they do have scoundrel. Gotcha. So early on, we were getting things like that, and we didn't really know what to do with them. And now they're starting to pop up left and right. And it's really cool because I think that it's fixing a lot of the eras are cool for list building and for squad building, but you can add the tags to kind of really mix and match, almost like MCP, right? Like they're kind of going more into we're going to give you a little bit more freedom and let that fly, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, the list building aspect has gotten wider now with a lot of these releases. And to like tie back into Mando, so Mando didn't have as much people we compare with, but in the last 3 releases, Shatterpoint, there are models that have scoundrels. You have the Cassian box, who has scoundrel along with K2. You have the Jian box, which are all scoundrels, and then you have the Rift Hampton box, who himself is a primary that has scoundrel. So there's a lot of different things you can do with Mandalorian now. And if you really want to just build a premier list around Mando, you can do it now. And just have different models with this scoundrel tag, because he is a bounty hunter, Mandalorian, mercenary, and scoundrel. So a lot of characters can go with him.
Yeah, his stance cards as well are almost interchangeable in their own sense, where they both kind of, you can do disruption and damage, or you can do conditions and healing and things like that. And he just really does it all. I mean,
yeah,
even his Beskar armor, man, I mean, he's a great primary. I think they really nailed this character from the start.
Yeah. So like, Jim, what is your favorite thing about Mando when you put him on the table?
That he just kind of shows up, and that's probably like something that they sort of can derive from the show, right? That he is the hero, right? So he shows up at the moment that he needs to be there, right? So when things are looking down, right, people are getting dazed, like, oh, here's my like reposition and heal, and I'm here, and now I'm able to just put a lot of presence like in that area, right? All of a sudden, which is really cool. So that's kind of like my favorite. And then the goofiest thing is the freaking bring you in cold at 4 expertise. You just get 5 damage.
Oh yeah, it's like it's like ridiculous.
I was like, this is very silly, like very silly.
And you know what? That can happen a lot more than you think.
Yeah. So so let's say you convert your 7 dice into 4 expertise, right? And then you get 3 steps on your tree. So that's what 5 plus. So yeah, that's like 10 damage. There.
Yeah, it's not it's like not as crazy to get hit, and then you can focus with him to get an extra die, or you can do his what is it called? His fearless for 1 force. So when he makes a melee attack as part of combat action before dice are rolled, he can use the ability. He adds 2 dice to the attack roll for each enemy character other than the target. That is not wound engaged with one more character. So if you just kind of just put him into the fray, and you're bringing you in cold side, and you do a melee attack, and let's say he is in range of like 2 or 3 characters, and then you hit your target, you're adding 2 dice for each of those characters. So it just gives you more dice to get that 4 expertise on him.
Well, that's only for melee attacks, right? Yeah,
you're right. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. That is only for melee attacks. Sorry, rewind. Can't do that.
Yep, but still, if you make it through the full list of the tree, though, you still get 10 damage if you go the full steps.
Yeah. So yeah, he is a great primary.
Can we talk a little bit, because I'm looking at the squad here for it, and I see that the secondary is Ezra.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious why Ezra as kind of a secondary to Mandalorian.
So, okay, yeah, so let's go into that. So I guess for listeners, I'll go off the squads first, actually, just to paint the picture for everybody, and then we'll go more in depth into the squads. So the first squad is Mandalorian, and his secondary is Ezra Bridger, Spectre 6, and then his supports are Clan Kreese Mandalorians. Then the second squad, we have the Armorer with Bo-Katan and the Covert Mandalorians. Then our fourth squad is Lord Maul, Gar Saxon, Merciless Commander, and Mandalorian Super Commandos. And then our wild squad is Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum with Darth Vader Fallen Master and Bar2, which is Lando and R2 inside job. So for the Mandalorian, as we're just going off the boxes that Jian has, when I was building this list for him, you obviously want some sort of Mandalorian synergy. Now, Jian doesn't have Sabine, but what he does have is Ezra. And Ezra Bridger is just overall a really good primary. He has the Scoundrels tag, he has the Force User tag, and the Rebel Alliance tag. The thing with Ezra Bridger is he counts as 2 on objectives. So his thanks for doing the heavy lifting. When determined to control of an objective token that this character is contesting, if there is a tie, he takes control of that objective. So he kind of counts as 2 bodies in a way. Him being able to do that just gives you an all-around secondary that is good in any scenario, kind of like a solar piece in a way, as just Mandalorian is kind of a jack of all trades. So is Ezra in a way. That way he's able to contest objectives, and he has pretty good dice, and he has really good out of activation movements.
Yeah, he does. Looking at him here, thanks for doing the heavy lifting. He's much more of a cagey support piece too, is what I kind of feel from him, which makes sense. I mean, this also really fits the character, especially since they're going off of the Rebels show.
Yeah, and they're going off of season 1 and 2 Ezra, not 3 or 4 either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you look at the character, you can see the his outfit definitely demonstrates that for sure. So he kind of reminds me a lot of Ahsoka Padawan.
Yeah.
But definitely more focused on where she's much more jumping around the board and kind of flipping between points and attacking. He's much more kind of helping others and staying on objectives, which is kind of cool. I mean, they really do nail these characters when it comes to list build, like kits.
A lot of the characters, especially after the update, feel like how the characters are in the lore. They did a really good job with them.
So this character, I realized looking at it, is very much actually like calling out support, like harassment and hate, actually, which is interesting because a lot of the other characters you'll see in this game, that's like, oh, this is a primary character or a secondary character that you just attacked and did something to. You get this benefit, this benefit, right, or bonus. Whereas Ezra is just like, no. You are going to get rid of their 2 squad guys sitting on objectives, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, definitely. He is really good. He also has great mobility on his tree. So if he gets 4 up the tree, he shoves you once, disarm you, gets a full reposition while healing 3. So if you have a pin, you can get rid of that and then get to jump. So you can really get around the board easily just getting 4 up the tree.
The heal 3 is so nice.
Yes.
On his stay. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so, I feel like people underestimate just his tree. It is a really fantastic tree.
So for clarification, guys, the reposition and heal icon, right? Do you have to take the reposition first, then the heal, or can you do either order?
You can do it in the order that you want.
Nice.
So you can heal first and then reposition, since it's on the same thing. Now, if the reposition was, say, in step 2 of the tree and the heal was in step 3, then you have to do reposition first. So for context, for people that haven't played Shatterpoint yet, when you go up your tree, you're not allowed to go to the next tree until you resolve the next point on your tree until you resolve the previous step. So if I want to go 3 up the tree, so in Ezra's case, let's just do the top half. It's 3 up the tree is 3 damage, push, disarm, push. So if I want to go to that 3rd push, I have to resolve that first push first and give them the disarm first before you go to the next step.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to know that for the protection keyword too, as well, or the protection ability where you reduce the first damage you take, because when you're going up the trees, you need to make sure that gets taken into account. Where sometimes people will kind of just group it together.
Yeah, exactly. It is very key. The thing with Ezra, and the reason I picked Ezra as a secondary, is since the objective is to play Mandalorian most games, you kind of want to build his squad in a way that you're bringing the most games. What support and what secondary is good in most games? It's just all around good models. So that is why we paired him with Ezra versus pairing him, let's say, with Bo-Katan, who is a Mandalorian. It's game after game, Ezra's actually going to do more for you than Bo-Katan is actually going to do, since he always counts as 2 and he has really good mobility and he's good on all map types.
I gotcha, yeah, because when I was playing with Bo, it's like the synergy is very good, but it does require me to sort of like keep people within like sort of a leash of each other, right, to get the maximum effect of the aura.
Correct.
Whereas like I'm looking at Ezra, and yeah, he definitely is more like you can play him together, but he's perfectly happy just to go off and do his own thing, right? And depending on what the map spread shape is, right?
Yep, exactly. And also, Jian, I got you that box, so I want you to use a model from there.
Yes, it was very kind of you. Thank you again.
The only downside I don't like about Ezra, and this is going to sound stupid, is not his card, it's his model. I hate his lightsaber on his model. That thing always breaks. It's in the worst position.
Are we in a Mystique pistol situation where I'm just going to have to pretend it's just a pistol eventually?
I actually heard of so much stories of people saying that it's going to eventually break. I actually changed the position of his hand to, instead of him having his hand and with the lightsaber just straight up, it's actually like to the side. So it hasn't broken yet, but it probably will eventually. So
yeah, they're continuing the tradition of the show Rebels, where the lightsabers were like toothpicks.
Yeah, it's. God, I hate it.
I don't like his pose either. I agree with you.
Yeah. All right. So next, the support for Mandalorian, we have Clan Kree's Mandalorians. Now, I talk about all around kits. If the all around model to actually put with this is Covert Mandalorians, but we have them with the armor, and that's because of the era restriction. Since Ezra is only the Rebel, the Civil War era, he can't be paired with the Coverts, who are the Resistance era or the Imperial Remnant area only. So since you can't pair them together, so I found it was a little bit better to. I think you would rather have Ezra more over the Coverts, even though the Coverts are really good. So the next best thing is the Clan Kree's Mandalorians, which come in the core sets.
I mean, they're not bad. Like they have a nice, well-rounded like kit, I think.
Yeah, no, not at all. They are solid. I just wish they had one more health, but other than that, they are really good. They've always been good. They're kind of like a B tier units that you never complain when you have them. Like, and they do their work.
For Mandalorians are stronger together when they're within 2 of another allied Mandalorian character. They can be within 2 of each other and get this bonus, correct?
Yep, you are
okay,
correct.
So that's one of the things too, is it doesn't have to be within 2 of the Mandalorian. It can be within the additional Mando that comes with this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, and they're just really good with that. And then also the reason why we like them is you go 2 up the tree, you get 2 pushes. In this game, having consistent pushes, it does wonders because you're really trying to control objectives and push characters off objectives. That's why characters like Savage Opress are, in a way, hurt a lot when you don't even have a push on your tree. But with the Covert Mandalorians, they have 3 pushes on their tree when they go 4 up their tree. But the breakpoint for them to go 4 up their tree is very small, and you're typically only getting 2 to 3 up their tree. So having 2 pushes on 2 is very consistent. So where when they both attack, you can push a character 4 times, which will be more than enough to get a character off a point.
They actually pack a surprising amount of damage as well. They kind of remind me of turret characters.
Correct.
You kind of want to like turret them on a point and just blast something in particular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they kind of just sit on the point, and they also have a lot of conditions too. I mean, they give out 3 conditions. They give out pin, disarm, and expose, which are great conditions to give out.
Yeah, correct. And I love that it doesn't go in consecutive order of those. You're forced to pick the tree to decide which one's better for you, which make them kind of well-rounded.
Yeah, totally. Jian, I'm assuming you played with these guys yet? Have you?
Yeah, they're good. I keep them as together as just one, little bubble, so they can fulfill the Mandarin stronger together themselves. And they've been pretty consistent as far as being able to displace models to just win a point. But usually I can count them on to win like 1 point. I don't know if I can count them to really win more than 1 point at a time.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I used to use these guys a lot when I first got into the game, but I haven't really played with Mandalorians lately. I actually haven't seen them on a table in a while.
The interesting thing with these guys is that they're synergistic in the way that you can throw them together, but they're almost the opposite when it comes to gameplay, because it seems like all 3 of them, well, I guess 4 of them, really, the models, want to be doing their own thing, and they don't really need to be supported by somebody else, which is actually kind of nice, because it means that Ezra can go around and annoy supports and kind of tank points and do what he needs to do. And, you can have the Mandalorians kind of sit back and gun somebody down while Mando just walks up to someone and just says, see ya, or does whatever he wants to do. They kind of don't have to act independently. They can act independently of each other. They don't really need to follow a bubble. For example, I'm going to go back to it, but playing Bad Batch, they require a lot of synergy between all of the units, because that's an in-character thing, and it works out pretty well for them. These guys are bounty hunters and, they don't need to be synergistic to be good together. They kind of each fulfill a different role independent of themselves.
Yeah. It's just throwing good things into a squad that
Mhm.
will do their own thing. And that was kind of my logic with the way I built the Mando squad is I wanted an all around squad that is just good, because this is the primary that you're going to bring 90% of your games. And since you're going to be playing him 90% of your games, Jin, you kind of want your squad to also be good 90% of the time.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, this makes sense. Yeah, the fact they're independently operatable, like, I think is going to solve a lot of problems that I may have encountered in some previous scenarios.
Yeah.
It's also good for learning the game too, because you can kind of operate their cards independently, and it means that you're not screwing up deployment or like placing within and kind of all the little nuances that make them better. You can kind of just learn their kits on your own time with them and not feel like you're kind of making a lot of mistakes. You're just kind of feeling them out, and then they kind of become almost like second nature when you get used to them.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
Yeah. Can I just say that I started out with Separatists, so like making sure I was in range to get that big droid activation when oh god, what was the commander secondary?
Oh man,
No. Kalani.
Kalani.
Kalani?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it
Yeah.
Kraken? I don't
No,
know.
no. Kraken is the bruiser that moves only one squad, and it's any range. So he was much more forgiving to play. But yeah, but Kalani, like, yeah, he gets to just move your entire support like stuff like up. If done right, it was really, really cool.
Yes.
But also, if you're out of range, it feels really bad.
Oh yeah. I did not know that you started with a separatist first.
That's quite a learning curve.
Yeah, they definitely are like not beginner friendly.
Yeah, I just thought the droids were funny, so that's what I started with.
They are funny. I do like the droids. Definitely have. Honestly, I think out of all the factions, I think they have the best models.
The B2s are actually scary. Like, they actually make them imposing.
Oh, like building them.
Well, like just the models themselves when they're done. I mean, their kits are pretty good, and they just, I don't know, there's something about them in Shatterpoint just makes them feel more scary. I think there's two on a base.
Yeah. There's two.
They just have a weird, and playing against them too, they're actually pretty resilient. So it kind of makes them feel a little more daunting when you're playing them.
Yeah, you can also just add a bunch of dice to them too. Like they can shred out a bunch of damage because their expertise tree, I think, just gives out raw damage as well.
Yeah, really, and they just attack a bunch. So I mean, they just feel like they're more like. I mean, they can fold pretty quickly, but like when you get in range. But at range, man, they're awesome.
Oh yeah, no, they're really good. I like them a lot. I also, honestly, Separatists. I really like the Separatists. I just wish their supports were a little bit better. I think that's what they need to do well.
Yeah. Jin, do you have the armor? I know we're going to get to her at some point, but you own her, correct?
Yes, everyone that's on this list is a model that I have as at least in a box form. Their name may not necessarily be built, but I do have them in my possession.
Okay.
Yeah. So like these 4 squads, it's all models he has, and then later on we'll go like how Jin can expand on this list, like if he wants to buy more models.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. We've gone through squad 2. Any other squad? Sorry, the Mando squad. That is.
Yes.
Do we have any other thoughts on these before we move on?
They're solid. All solid models.
Okay.
All right. We'll go to the next obvious one, which is the Armorer squad. So Jin, you played games with armor, and I've actually played you once in Shatterpoint. You used the armor against me.
I love the armor. So if it wasn't going to be Mando as my like main focus primary, it was going to be the armor. But maybe I just need more Mandalorian keywords to come out before then. But I think there's a decent amount that you could potentially do it.
Yeah, you could definitely have the armor like played too. Most of your games if you want. She's really solid, and she's really freaking fast.
Yeah, the fact that the identity is what really sells me, because like the amount of times that like late game in Shatterpoint is that I can't really start doing anything anymore because of the tax, right, of the power. But her just saying it's like, nope, everything's still a consistent cost. It means that your Mandalorians will more consistently be able to do the jump packs. The Mandalorians are stronger together, etc. abilities. And even though she doesn't bring a lot of force, it still pays out, I think, at the end from that tax relief.
Yeah, no, it's a great ability. I think it's one of the best identities in the game. Sean, do you have any thoughts on the armor?
She's a damage machine.
Oh, you're telling me, dude. Oh my gosh, when she's on the board, I'm genuinely terrified of this model.
I'm looking at her stance card for Strength of the Hammer, and 3 expertise is 6 damage and a push. Like that's pretty crazy.
It's crazy. It's like boss level crazy because that's what Delta Squad boss does now. He has the same thing, and just he gets it very consistent, and then she gets it very consistent too.
Yeah, with eight melee dice. Oh my goodness! Like the chances of this, and
And the other thing too is that she'll likely be able to use the both Hunter and Prey to make sure you're exposed when you're taking this hit too.
So for listeners, her play pattern really, because she's really fast. So typically when you go with her, you do the Wisdom of the Mando that you automatically have to do. So at the start of his activation, you choose another allied Mandalorian character. They move. You get to jump them somebody. You get to jump somebody. But the Armorer can essentially move twice. Now in Shatterpoint, you only get one move action. So you can move with her, and then you do both Hunter and Prey for 1 force. Choose an enemy character. Each character in this unit may jump or full movement towards the chosen character. After all moves have been made, if one or more characters in the unit are engaged with the chosen character, the enemy gets exposed. So she really zips around the board easily with 2 movements to get where she needs to go, and exposing her prey.
I like that both Hunter and Prey also entails that she gets exposed as well, because it kind of means that for all the massive amount of damage she's about to do, it doesn't come without a cost, which is also great.
So the thing with this though, and I played against a lot of armor against my local Pedro, you're exposing your opponent, and then when you attack them, she has heals on her trees, and she's usually getting 5 up the tree, which is everything. So she just heals her expose off. I want to say 95% of the time.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so you're only punished for not rolling well enough to make it to the 4th step, I think, on these trees.
Yes, yeah, and it's very consistent for her to get up 4 steps up the tree. So yeah, sure, her being exposed rarely actually stays on.
I would say that she is also good for new players because the survivals are a strength where you don't increase the cost of force powers and things like that. Is when you're wounded is really nice, because that's a rule a lot of people I think forget. I think that's for new players especially, is it's in the beginning. I don't think it was conveyed as well, and if it was, kind of easy to skip over, but when you are wounded, you have to pay double for force power, and sometimes that's kind of glossed over. I'm glad that this is here though, because this is kind of an easy way for somebody who's interested, like Jian in Mandalorians, and really kind of wants to get that play pattern down easy. They can kind of just sink into this and cruise.
Yeah. It's also really nice because when you play all Mandalorians, you are not taxed, as you're typically only bringing, between most games, 5 and 6 force. The armor only brings 2 force herself, but she brings 9 squad points. So it's not taxing to your models.
Yep. So yeah, normally it just means that it's like, oh, okay, each person probably gets to do like 1 force thing, and they're probably good. But you can rely on that consistently throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah, this squad is there's a lot of jumping going on in this squad, which is also very thematic.
Oh yeah. So we'll go to, actually, before I go into the other ones, the last thing I want to mention with the armor, the reason I say she gets so consistent up the board with dice is because for every 3 damage this unit has, characters in this unit add 1 die to their melee. Sorry, I'm like reading them wrong. That's only defensive roll. Look at me. I'm reading it wrong. Never mind. She doesn't add dice for attacks. Ignore that.
Sorry. That's for another person on this list to be seen later on.
Yeah, I was thinking of the other person. Yeah, okay. Never mind. It shows you how little I've played with the Mandalorians. I played against them a bunch. All right, so the next character on this list for your secondary is Bo-Katan, who also comes in the core sets. Jin, thoughts on Bo? Because I know you played quite a bit of her.
Yeah, so I am I love Bo, but I'm also very bad at playing her because I do a very poor job of keeping this some of us serve a higher purpose bubble together
Yeah.
at the same time. But she's relatively forgiving, like because of the Pride of let's see, the jetpacks and the Pride of Mandalore like help you just move your characters around, which is really nice. The free focus is good, and then the Mandalore will survive. Like she gets like a ton of extra move between the jetpack and the Mandalore will survive like free dash and double heal.
Mhm.
So she is she's much better at melee than I thought she would be, like upon first impressions of the model. Because the Clan Krees are like good at shooting, but she's actually a better meleeer than she is a shooter.
Oh yeah, totally. She is she pairs well with the Clan Krees because they all kind of just it's weird how like it's funny how the core box models like Bo really is like the melee focus with their Clan Krees, and then the Gar Saxon and Super Commanders are the attack focus kind of in a way.
Yeah, she's quick. Pride of the Mandalore combined with Wisdom of the Mandalore from the armor, and then combined from a clan of 2 from the Mandalorian means that these guys are jumping all over the place to start the game if you position correctly.
Yeah, the Mandalorians are very fast, as they should be, because they all have jetpacks.
Yeah, the synergy is outright gross, and it's awesome because I love jumping. I think that it's very underrated for terrain, and because you can do a jump, and it's treated as the dash, right? I mean, so you could just jump forward if you wanted to. You don't have to climb anything.
Yeah,
it just gives you the ability to, so it's stronger.
Yeah. But she's definitely like the very support piece of all 4 of these lists model.
Yeah, she also stacks off her own kit. So Mandalorians are stronger together. She can make a focus action, and then she can immediately dash and heal on her own kit. So
yeah, she's great.
She incentivizes playing with her group, right? Which makes sense. And Jin, I get it. The higher purpose, where you have to be within 3, when you're doing damage and you are pushing people and advancing, it's so hard to remember to stay within the bubble.
Yeah.
I totally get it, man. I really do.
Yep. Yeah. As far as like durability goes, I mean the Beskar armor is good, but yeah, she is also very vulnerable to, I guess, displacement. Like there's not much to move her back on the point unless it's I guess like the armor goes or somebody else that can actually move a separate character.
Yeah, that is, or when we get into another character on this list, that can also help move her up the board. But that's really like the displacement aspect is a lot of models in Shatterpoint. Like if they get displaced, they don't have a lot of ways back up on the board. I guess unless like your rebels who just zoop around the board when you win their characters.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. We'll move on to the coverts. Man, I love these models. I think they are like an A tier model. They are awesome. Like they put out consistent damage, and they are also as fast as Bo-Katan. They are freaking great, and they're not. They definitely synergize with all the models. It's just they are a little bit squishy. Jin, what are your thoughts with the coverts?
Yeah, so like I figured they straddle that between like the Super Commandos, right, and the Clan Krees, where you can choose to outfit them for a melee or a range attack turn, and you do also get the potentially the protection, right, to make sure that they like stay alive until their order card comes up, right?
Yeah. What I also actually really like about them, and with a lot of the Mandalorians, a lot of them, now that I'm rereading their cards again, they have a lot of out of action focus actions where like if they move and they're within 2 of another Mandalorian, a lot of them get a focus to make their attack dice more consistent.
Yep, it just has to be part of a move action, right? So like it won't be like the free dasher hops, but still you're still getting a good amount of value, right, for doing a move action.
Yeah, I definitely like that a lot. It synergizes you. Like if you move and you're within 2 of another character, then you get the focus and you don't have to take a focus action.
Yep.
I like that in most games you kind of want to get your supports early to be able to move them and set up, whereas these guys you kind of don't want to do that in order to keep them, I mean, as tanky as they can be, which I think is actually really cool.
Yeah. I mean, they have very consistent damage with their tree, and a big reason, like I just said with the Clan Crees earlier, they have a push on one, and they have two pushes on 3 steps of their tree. So if you get full up on the tree when the model shoots, you can consistently get 2 pushes with a 4 reposition if need be, and giving out 2 conditions. It gives them a lot of mobility that helps them out to get to different points.
Yeah, I think the basis of a list like this is to make sure kind of everyone is getting their focus actions for free off of each other, and then using them to position themselves correctly and go in on damage with these guys. Yeah,
they are definitely not slow. Like a lot of these models are some of the fastest models in the game. So, and they're basically, their play styles are zoop and go to a different point. Like zoop, shoot you, and I'm at a different point while I'm shooting at you, basically.
This may be a Web Warriors, indirect through line that you audiences may recognize here.
Very, very familiar playstyle that I'm familiar with. Maybe I should put them on the table. I'll probably understand them a lot.
So we were now building a list for Waller. Actually, that's.
Now that we're talking about them more, I might have to try them. I have all these models. I've never played with them, but I played against them a bunch.
Yep.
So yeah. The good thing about the Armor Squad, actually, before I get to that, what you might notice is we do not have Paz Vizsla. So Bo-Katan and the Coverts are both only 4 points, and the Armor brings 9 points. The reason why we don't have Paz all that much is he has 3 hit points, but he also has Go There Are Too Many this way. So when this character becomes wounded by an enemy attack, after the effect is all, he can use his ability. He can gain 2 injury points and then remove 1 wound token and all damage. If he does this, he essentially has 2 wounded, 2, just like Bo-Katan. But he doesn't give as much support as Bo-Katan does. But he does have We Are the Mandalorians. At the start of his activation, each allied Mandalorian character within 4 may remove a wound or 1 condition, and then each supporting character may jump. So he's kind of one of those characters where if you pull him first activation, or first 1 or 2 activations, he is great. He is awesome. But if you pulled him late in the round, he doesn't really pull his weight as much.
Okay, so it's because of that gamble, right? Whether or not you pull him early or late is how you feel about it.
Yeah, if you pulled him later in the round, he's a very upset boy.
Gotcha. I will say though, that free counterattack that he gets, was it cover the rear?
Yes.
The amount of time that I just take that jump so that then I can take that shoot into somebody since I'm out of engagement. Mm-hmm. Having 3 hits on a 1 to 2 expertise is kind of insane, even if you're doing a 5 dice attack,
I do agree with you on that. He can, the clapback is very nice. I actually think that's probably the best thing on his card.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the only problem is that you are in a force limited faction, right? So even though you won't get tax, you have to be very diligent of how much you want to do that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But sometimes it does end a character's activation, and I've been ooh, that's a high to come down from, sometimes.
Yeah. The only other thing with Paz is when he is in heavy firepower, he is very squishy. He is rolling 4 dice in melee, and then 1 to 2 expertise gives him 2 blocks, and then 3 expertise and up give him 2 blocks and a hit and a crit. When you're rolling 4 dice, you're not really getting 3 expertise. You're maybe getting 1 or 2, which is 2 blocks. But then sometimes your dice can just whiff, so he can go down very easily since he is only 8 health.
Yeah, and I think it's his fearless, right? The melee stance is just there's no decisions with the tree. You just you get what you get, right?
Yeah, that's the one that's just straight up damage. That is what 4, 8, 9 damage. which will get rid of most supports in the game if they don't have protection. So if he gets full up the tree, it is that. Sean, have you seen Paz on the table?
I have not, though. Looking at him now, he kind of just looks like a turret that almost kind of sit him on a point, and he can be unforgiving if you interact with him.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see why he's kind of out. I don't, other than kind of just trying to own and keep a point. And I mean, you're probably keeping him on Fearless if you really want to just throw damage and kind of sit on a point and hold it. The more I look at him, the more you're right. Where if you don't go first with him and then you pull him, he kind of feels like an inconvenience.
Yeah. And that is something, since we can't control the order deck in Shatterpoint as well as like MCP with who we go with. If you pull him like your last or second to last activation, he just kind of feels like a dead activation in a way. Because a lot of times he is just going to move and then maybe be in range 5. But if he's not, then he is just taking a cover action really to get up the board. And he also, the only Mandalorians that he moves are supporting units that are within 4 of him. So you have to deploy him out of deployment to where to hit all of your supports. But like I said, if you don't pull him first or second and you pull the supports first and you have to go with them, his We Are the Mandalorians gets worse and worse as the round goes on. And then since the Mandalorians get very spread out throughout the game and they go to different points and they're going into backlines, We Are the Mandalorians, when you do pull him later in the game as like his second activation, it's very, not rare, but less times you are within 4 of supporting Mandalorians. So he still doesn't get it off as much.
Yeah, I'm starting to agree with you guys where like the other secondaries are able to sort of move themselves, right, in position. But since We Are Mandalorians can't actually move him past himself, which is, I feel like kind of a miss as far as like that goes.
If he was able to move himself with his We Are the Mandalorians, he would just take Bo's place.
Right, yeah. If he were just allowed to move himself and the supporting units, I think that would make him much more interesting, especially since he also has that, can't, was it when he has an injured token, you can't like put him in reserve? Like that also is like rough sometimes,
yes.
like
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, so I like there's some very narrow situations where like I think his kid's really good and I've seen those and they're super fun with Paz. But you're probably right in the sense that like if we're trying to build a very flexible squad, right? He's probably the most inflexible Mandalorian at the moment that's out.
Yeah, correct. And then Mandalorians typically want to be playing on Never Tell Me the Odds mission, which actually I didn't even get into the mission that we have. Jim, for you, the mission I chose is Never Tell Me the Odds, which is the most spread out mission for Shatterpoint, and all the Mandalorians move really fast. So it kind of makes sense for them to be on Never Tell. And they are a lot of them are a little bit squishy, and since it's more spread out, you'll be taking less attacks.
Okay. So now I don't know anything about that objective because I don't think I've played on it. So
it's the equivalent of a D map for MCP.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. It's a very spread out map, and all the Mandalorians are very fast except for Paz. So
okay.
Yeah, when the objectives are getting flipped to the other side and he can't rotate as much, he's a very sad boy.
Got it. Okay.
Any final thoughts with you guys on Paz before we move on to the third squad?
I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. So, what squad do you guys? I'll let you guys pick. What squad do you guys want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about Lord Maul squad or Ahsoka squad?
Let's go. Let me go with more Lord Maul to round up the entire Mandalorian stuff, okay. And then you can tell me about the last squad, which is again a wild squad, as you.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. That see, there we go. This is why we have Jian. Jian makes logical choices. So Lord Maul. So Maul came in the core sets. I love this model. For the first couple of months of playing this game, I only ever played with this model, so I have a lot of experience with him. He is great. Before we get into his card and why he's here and the squad that we built with him, Sean and Jin, what are you guys' experience with Lord Maul?
So my experience with Lord Maul is that he allows me to have a lot more force spread out among my team. Since I can always just pay for his powers with health, that makes him an interesting battery primary, right? On top of that, his output is just great. But I find that I kind of just keep him in Sinister Cunning all the time because like it's just better defense dice, and I think the attack tree isn't that far off, and you get access to a lightsaber throw. So, how have you guys been experiencing your games with Maul?
I've been I've been focusing him because if you let him live, he is like Anakin levels of gross dice.
Yes.
And damage. So he is almost like he's a threat that needs to be put down. And the fact that he's he's got two I guess we call it what, stamina? I'm not sure what we
2 stamina, yes.
Yeah. So yep, because he's got 2 stamina on him, it means he can be kind of put down a little easier. Plus with obviously hurting himself means it's better, but he also puts himself in a position to be hit because he wants to be up in the fray, kind of like sneaking up and just whacking characters. I know he has a clapback, and I have suffered from it many times, but sometimes like the risk is almost worth the reward for this guy. Like you need to get him off the table quick, or else he just ignoring him is not the way to go.
No, I'm happy you mentioned the clapback. So I'm going to read his one ability and then get back to the clapback because it's going to make more sense. So his ability, is for every 3 damage this unit has, he adds 1 dice to his melee attack rolls. And for each injure token he adds 3 dice to his attack rolls. So his clapback is called Revenge, I Must Revenge. When this unit is wounded by a melee attack, after the attack is resolved, one character in this unit may immediately dash and make a 5 dice melee attack targeting the wounded character. Now, for listeners, when you take a stamina or a wound in MCP and you exceed your wound count, which Maul's is 11, you get a wound token. Now, when he makes his clapback, because he has a wound token, he adds 3 dice to the attack. So now his clapback is 8 dice. And then for every wound he has, he adds another dice for every 3 wounds. So because he goes to 11, and since every 3 wounds, he's going to be adding 3 more for the 9 wounds. So his clapback is now going to become 11. Now, if he exceeds more than 11 wounds, so let's say he has 10, no, let's say before you wound him, he has like 8 damage on him. And then to get him, you have to do, let's say 5 more wounds, so he goes up to 13. Since he has 13 wounds, when he does his clapback, it's going to be an extra dice. So that 12 damage that he has is going to be 4 more dice. So his clapback can get really gross to where it can be between like 10 and 13 dice when he's clapping you back.
And he can threaten 10 damage. So you can imagine that he could almost turn around and just one-shot characters.
Yeah. So if he's clapping you back, at minimum, he is going to be doing an 11 dice melee attack into you.
So it should be noted also for listeners, this is something that I found out pretty late on, is the fact that you don't have to complete going through the steps of your tree if you don't want to keep going. So sometimes it's not prudent, right, to overkill Maul, because otherwise he's just going to get that extra dice, right?
Yeah. I had that in a tournament once where I used them and my opponent overkilled him by like 3 wounds because he wanted to get the push through. And because he did that, I was able to move, and then I got 2 more extra dice with Maul, which actually was just enough to kill his Anakin.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was really gross. He can be gross on the clapback, but he's really just a brawler. Like he wants to get in there, but he's as fast as the armorer. So the other ability that Maul has is why this unit is not wounded. When he spends for force, he may suffer a damage instead of spending the force. So if he wants to use any of his force abilities, he can take a damage instead, which very synergizes well with him. So him being fast, he has force speed, so he can take a damage instead of spending a force to move the movement tool. And then his first action, he can move again to just get right up to the board to attack somebody.
Okay. So when they say not wounded, what was it? Okay, I'm always confusing the injured status versus the wounded status here. So when you first go down to 0, you get a wounded token, right? And then that becomes an injured token later on?
Yes, correct. So
Okay.
when he is not wounded, so basically when he's not like sleeping, he can take damage to use his abilities. So on his activation for his force speed and his other ability, there is no place to run. Instead of spending the force, he could take damage.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, wounded is equivalent to what, dazed in MCP, if
Correct.
you think about it that way. And then imagine when your character flips an MCP and they're on their injured side. Imagine that's kind of the same thing here, where there's a little token to signify injured, and then you have to spend extra force.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And when it comes to Maul, instead of spending extra force, he can take extra damage.
Yes.
Yeah, that is really good. So yeah, and dude, there is no place to run. This is a force ability, or an ability, I should say, right? That you can just use to displace a model. Either to displace them or to get that extra like exposed as well. And I'm not above just moving and just like using that to get someone off a point. And then I'll I'll throw a Sinister Cunning like attack or a Dark Rage attack into somebody else to get another person off a point or to wound them.
Yeah, totally. Actually, you know what? I haven't really actually used that play power that much. Just like move somebody off and then go attack somebody else with them.
Yeah, force pushing in this game is extremely good.
Yeah, it's out of activation displacement, or not out of activation. Sorry, not out of activation displacement. It's displacement on what's it called? You're not throwing dice to displace somebody. Why am I?
It's just a displacement on a stick, right?
Yeah. So it's really good to have that. So the reason also why he's really good is he can pair well either with the Mandalorian or the Armorer, and he has great synergies actually with them. So I'll get into the Mandalorian first. The Mandalorian wants to be around bounty hunters, Mandalorians, and scoundrels. What is Maul? He is a scoundrel. So he synergizes really well with This Is the Way, which is Mandalorian's identity. When an enemy character wounds another ally character, after effect is one character in this unit, so Mandalorian can heal twice and then do a full reposition. And then each ally, bounty hunter, Mandalorian, and scouting unit within 4 of him may remove 1 condition from himself, and then they gain hunger. So it is just a really good ability to synergize with Maul.
Oh yeah, it gives them top off, which is nice. And lore also accurate. Lore and Maul will also, if you have them link up with Ezra, they'll give us more movement on top of that too, I think.
Yep, that too. Yeah. So it just they synergizes well with all the different squads that you can pair him with. And then also he also with Mandalorians the Clan of 2, when he does that, if all allied units within 2 are bounty hunter, Mandalorian, or scoundrels, 1 carrying this unit may immediately make a 5 dice attack. So it also pairs well with the Mandalorian, since his whole squad is Mandalorian or scoundrels, and now Maul's squad is all Mandalorian or scoundrels. So you will always get the benefit with this. And he doesn't tax your force economy.
Yeah, no, he's good. Yeah, whenever I feel like I have a force hungry, like secondary and support, I always look at like Maul as like one of the primaries to be like sort of supplement those abilities.
Yeah, he's just like an all rounder too. He just go do his own thing and be by himself and take care of business.
Yep,
when he's on the table.
I do like the This Is the Way synergy with Maul, with Mandalorian, because Maul's going to be throwing himself in your opponent's face, so there's going to be bonuses to you for something like that happening.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the after effects there and how that can kind of bonus everybody else.
Yeah, it's great. And then he also synergizes well with the Armorer, just in the fact that his squad all brings Mandalorians, but also since he doesn't tax your force economy, you have Maul that doesn't spend force usually, and then you have the Armorer that doesn't increase your force cost when your Mandalorians are wounded. So all your characters basically can use all the force in the world because you're not taxing when they're injured, and then you have a primary that doesn't need to use force.
Oh, that's a good shout. I didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so everybody just needs like their one force. So you can give all the Mandalorians like one between 2 plus 3. Yeah, so that's 5. All the Mandalorians can have one force that is at their disposal, and they're probably fine.
Yeah.
For the game.
Jian, have you played Mando with? Sorry, not Mando. Have you played Maul either with the Armorer or Mando yet?
I feel like I must have, but if I did, it was a while ago. But I think it worked pretty well. But I will say that I don't think I put Gar a lot on the table. So do you want to move on to Gar? Do you have any more thoughts on Lord Maul?
No, that pretty much wraps up Maul. We can go on to Gar. So Gar, he also came in the core set along with Mandalorian. People probably don't really know him as well. He's kind of a niche character. He was in the Clone Wars TV show, and also Star Wars Rebels. Otherwise, I don't really like his character. But we'll get into his card in Shatterpoint. So, where he's really good, he has Pride of the Mandalore. So at the start of his activation, choose another allied Mandalorian character. The chosen character may jump. Just same thing as like Bo-Katan. So you can jump all your Mandalorian characters. He is also fast as he has the jetpack ability. And he's kind of just your beater for your Mandalorian secondaries between him, Bo-Katan, and Paz Vizsla. He is the guy that just really sits back and just snipers people, but also can move around the board if he needs to. So Jin said that he hasn't played with Gar a lot. I mean, Sean, have you seen or played with Gar yet?
I've had Gar played against me quite a few times. And he's kind of fitting the bill of he's just like you said, a sharpshooter damage dealer. Benefit from his support characters to give himself focus. And then with sharpshooter 2, he's doing a ton of damage.
Yeah. So if he gets full up his tree, it is he can go 8 damage up the tree. Yeah,
and he's a little bit squishy. Well, I guess he's not totally squishy, but he's a good range character. But he is also great attacking. Like, so if somebody comes in and he comes in to finish the job against, if he's got his super commandos, then he can also be pretty good in melee as well. So he's pretty much just a well-rounded beater is how I kind of view him. But he's also not overly complicated for what he is.
No, he's a very beginner-friendly model.
Yes, I think I would say that this squad with Maul, him and obviously we'll get into the super commandos, but it's a very straightforward. It's almost like separatists with damage dealing without all of the aura nonsense.
Yeah. They're just all 3 of these units they're very fast and they're very I'm gonna try to take you down while I'm moving across the board.
Now, one thing to note too is they're not crazy on conditions.
No, yeah, Gar actually, depending on which path you go through, he only can give out 1 condition, whether that be strain or pin. But they make up for it in damage, and also the movement that they do. So they don't do as much conditions as like the Clan Krees or the Coverts, but they do give out a little bit more damage.
Yeah, I think what they lack in disruption, they make up for in just pure, just killing, which makes sense. I mean, also in very much theme.
Yeah, and then if we want to play Lord Maul, we have to also pair him with Gar Saxon and the Super Commandos, just because of the era lock. And since they're all only Clone Wars eras, we can't put any of the Civil War or Remnant era into this squad. It has to be all characters from the Clone Wars.
Yes.
That's okay, because they seem like they're functioning together, right? Because like this is just the raw damage Mandalorian squad, right? Basically.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd like to see some Shadow Collective stuff come out with Maul, like Legion did, to be able to expand on him a bit more.
So, that tag is not used so far.
So they actually said in an interview, I forgot which podcast it was. So the reason why he has the Shadow Collective, I mean, he is Shadow Collective, is when they made the game, they were just future-proofing himself, where they didn't know if they were actually going to put Shadow Collective in the game, but they put it on his card just in case if they ever want to.
That's interesting. I think that's something that definitely would be used because in Legion, people loved the Shadow Collective box with Maul in it. And I saw that got a lot of play. I think it would be good for him because you're right. Outside of this squad, you don't really see him very often. And it is kind of one purpose, right?
Yeah, he's a very straightforward character.
Yes.
What they want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, we'll move on, and then the last the support in this squad is the Super Commandos. So just like the Clan Krees, they have the jetpacks. One thing you will notice about them though is they have one more health than the Clan Krees, so they are a little bit tankier than them. These are your Mandalorians that want to be up in the fray and kind of be in the melee. The ability that I really like with them is the No Mercy ability. So when an enemy character that is engaged with one or more characters in this unit, they either move or dash after moves resolve. If the moving character unit suffered 2 wounds, if the moving character is no longer engaged with one or more characters in this unit. So you can really set it up with them where you can have an incentivize that not to have your opponent want to move out of engagement with them because they will just take 2 damage if they do.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. It's an ability that's kind of a gotcha. A lot of people don't expect it when it happens, but it does happen quite a bit when you have them on the table.
Yeah, this is good against repositioning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so out of there.
Well, except again the actual repositioning move, right?
Oh, you know what? Never mind, I'm reading it wrong. Never mind, continue. Yep, I'm reading it wrong.
Okay, all right. I just want to be clear, as in the general concept of repositioning versus like the specific move of repositioning. I get you, Sean.
Yeah. Another good thing with them is they have the same thing as all the other Mandalorians. Mandalorians are stronger together. So if they end a movement within 2 of another Mandalorian, they get a focus action. So it's really good. You don't have to really take focus actions with all the Mandalorians. You just do a regular move action, and then you get a free focus. So yeah. And these are your melee guys. They do a lot of damage. If they go full up their tree, if you want to do the most damage, it is 7 damage full up the tree. Or you can just get more movement with the jump.
Yeah, so there are definitely conditions on these guys. No pins though, so they can't stop you from moving away. But I guess the soft of that is the No Mercy, right?
Yeah, so that kind of makes up with it. If somebody wants to leave you, they just take 2 damage flat out, which is really good. I definitely had that catch me off guard when I first started playing the game. When somebody used the Mandalorians against me, and I would move away from them, and then I would just take 2 damage.
Yeah. Now, unlike Krees, which can push people very easily, looks like the Commandos are just here for condition and damage for the most part until you get to the tippy top of the tree.
Correct. Yeah, you do not rely pushes on them at all. They are just your in melee damage guys that want to hit stuff. Objectively, I like the Clan Krees just a little bit more just because of the pushes. But the Mandalorian Super Commandos aren't bad either.
No, I mean, like, if they both get to go and they also have Impact 1, right? So you more likely got their focus, and then with that additional die, at melee, you're rolling 8 dice, like, with them, with a pretty decent expertise tree for a support, I think.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they probably do, like, 4 damage pretty consistently, probably, per attack.
And then when both of them attack, that, if you get 4 damage through on both of them, 8 or 9 damage, that can take out most supports in the game.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. So these are kind of guys, when you play them on the table, you want them to get up in the fray, sit on a point, and then pick on the little guys. You don't want them to go into guys that are very beefy because they're not going to do as much. You want them to pick on other players' supports, as it would be easier for them to get up their tree.
Yep. Seems good.
Yeah.
Sean, any last thoughts on Commandos, or shall we move on to the Wild Squad?
Nope, they're murder bots. Let's move on.
Yeah. All right. So the last squad we have. This is the. Oh, you can say something, Jen?
No, I want you to sell me on this. What's going on in this thing?
Yeah, I kind of want you to sell me on this too because I'm intrigued.
all right, so this is the wacky squad, okay? So we have Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum, Darth Vader Fallen Master, and Bartu. Now, listeners, you might be wondering, the only other box or the other primary that we could put for this is Kanan Jarrus, who is a fantastic primary. Very fantastic. I think he's top 5 in the game. He comes with Ezra. He is a rebel. He's a Spectre. And Kanan has a revenge trigger just like Mandalorian, where he can make free attacks. Now, why don't we have Kanan, who is the obvious choice, is because since we're going based off Jin's boxes that he has, the only Spectres and Rebels that Kanan will get from are his squad, which would have been Ezra and Zeb. So I kind of went in a different route with this wacky squad, and I just did full gas, no brakes on movement and murder squads. So the first one we have is a brand new primary, Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum. The thing that is really good about her, she's an 8-point primary that brings 4 force. So it gives you a lot of room to wiggle with, depending on which other primary that you bring with her. And she also has force refresh. She's as fast as the other Ahsokas, as she is fearless, so she can spend 1 force to jump, and she can do it 2 times as much as she wants. So if you wanted to get up the board, she can move, jump, and she's right wherever she needs to be. She has the same thing as Anakin's old double attack, which she can attack somebody twice, which is then I will avenge his death, which is 2 force, which she can attack the same target. And then if she wounds that target, her identity, which I love so much, is I am no Jedi. Once per turn, when a character in this unit wounds an enemy unit, after the effect is off, you refresh 1 force. One character in this unit may jump. Then if the enemy unit was a primary secondary, you refresh another force. And then they get to make another 5 dice attack. So I've had a lot of turns. I played a lot of games with Ahsoka Fulcrum at this point, where she's able to attack 3 times in a turn. You have her double tap a secondary primary, you have her jump, and then she goes to attacks another character, whether it be a support or something like that, to really have a big swing turn.
Whoa, yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, I know that was a lot. With her.
Do you find, Mike, that if she doesn't wound and kind of get off what she wants, does she feel kind of lesser? It almost looks to me like once she starts hitting, once the triggers of her kit start kind of going off and keywords start going off, she just becomes a moving machine.
Yeah.
But if she misses, if she kind of feels not sad, but not maxed.
Yeah.
Like she's a very high ceiling, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, I agree with you on that. She is a very dice dependent character. But her being able to bring the force refresh and bringing 4 force, which gives you a lot of flexibility with your characters to give them 1 more force. So if you pair her with Maul or the Mandalorian, you then have 7 force to play with a character that, well, actually, when we get into Vader, you have 2 characters that give out force refresh. And then when you pair her with the Armorer, since the Armorer doesn't tax your Mandalorians, you can really use your force on Ahsoka to let her do the things that she wants to do. Because typically she's going to be spending a minimum 2 force in activation. And since you will see how the first attack usually goes, if you do a big chunk of damage into their character, you can attack twice. But I usually live on Form Jian with her, where 2 up the tree gives her 2 pushes. And then if she gets 5 up the tree, then she does 7 damage with 2 pushes of disarm and pin, which is very good. And then her defensive form also has a jump if you get 4 expertise. She's just a very mobile primary that is fitting with what this list is trying to do and be very mobile and zoop around the board.
It makes sense, yeah. She also gets a pretty easy reposition as well in Form 5 Jian. So if you want to just do that move and get a reposition off, it's like pretty easy to get to zoom to an objective.
And the thing I do like about that is since she has a heal before the reposition, if she has a pin, she can heal off that pin.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something I like. And then if you really want to kill stuff, you could put her on Jarkai, which is just 6 straight out damage, just like the Armorer, 3 up the tree. And then it does the same 8 damage if you get full up the tree. But I do like Force Jian more just because it's more flexible. You get the same amount of damage if you're on the other side, but then you get a lot more stuff in repositioning and heals and conditions. Sean, you have any thoughts on her?
No, she's great, but I understand now why you paired her with Vader. I'm putting the pieces together.
You're looking at Vader's card?
Oh my goodness, I understand now.
So I thought, since Jin had the Ahsoka and the Vader box, it would be fun to play with the new Vader. And the new Vader is 5-point secondary, so you need an 8-point support. And it's, well, why not just pair him with the box that he comes with, which is Ahsoka? Now, Vader. Oh, also another thing, with Vader and Ahsoka, they also trigger off Ezra's ability when you pair them with the Mandalorian, since they're both Force users. So that is another synergy that gives them. Before I get into Vader's card, because I've actually played quite a bit of games with this Vader so far. Have you guys played with him or played against them?
I have nothing to contribute here, so go on, Sean.
I have not seen him yet, so this is all new for me.
All right, so Vader, he is Darth Vader Fallen Master, is a 5-cost secondary, so he is quite expensive. But what does he bring? First, 9 health. 9 is really good. Well, you might be thinking, well, it's just 9 health. Why is it so good? Because he also has protection and steadfast. So steadfast is you ignore the first push when you're pushed, and then protection is you ignore the first damage. So he's actually quite tanky. And with that, he also has impact 1, which is good for his melee attack. So his first ability, Anakin Skywalker, was weak. I love the name of that. At the start of his unit activation, if he does not have a strain, you refresh a force. And after the effective resolve, this unit removes 1 damage or 1 condition from himself, and 1 character this unit may dash. So at the start of his activation, if you go with him, as long as you don't go first in your turn with him, he is going to refresh a force and get to dash right away. That is just another force refresh, which is great. What do you guys think about this ability?
It's so good.
Yeah.
And then if you have like some sort of like a healing, right, to top him off, to make sure that he doesn't have the strain, right? This is pretty much a guaranteed force refresh, like every time he goes.
Yeah. So you're always refreshing force with him. I want to say 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, this is an incredible ability.
I think it's honestly, I think it's probably one of the best abilities in the game that they've written on a card. I think it's great ability to have.
Yeah, this is like primary abilities here, and wow, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
his kit is cool because as we talk about it more and as we get into this, listeners will kind of understand why this first one is good, but also he's not without drawbacks and like smart play.
Yeah. So we'll go to the next ability. Then you would die braver than most. So for 2 force, choose a character in this unit. An enemy character within 3 of that character, pull the character towards them, range 2. And then the chosen enemy character unit gets exposed. That is a really good ability. That is the same as Maul's ability. And we all know how good it is on Maul. So it is a great ability.
He gets this too?
Yes. So it is fantastic to have on with him. The same thing as Maul.
Right on.
Yep. Just displacement as is. You don't have to attack that person, as Jin just pointed out to me earlier, or you can just go full on into them, basically. And 2 force is a little steep, but he does refresh force. So he, at most, if you only have 1 force left and then you go with Vader, you refresh it, you're able to do your ability. Sean, what do you think about this?
Yeah, this is obviously fantastic because technically, depending on where you're at, in the game, it really only costs 1 force.
Mm-hmm.
If you're playing him correctly, then and you're using you're using the items on his card in the correct order, then you can really maximize off of the way that they want you to work this. Which, man, this guy's crazy. Yeah. I thought oh man, every Vader just gets better and better.
Yeah, and he's only a secondary too.
I know, crazy.
Yeah, so it's kind of like this Ahsoka squad is Ahsoka's cool, but it's actually mainly to play Vader. It is what the hidden sauce is. It is just to play as much Vader as you can and get him on there. So the last ability we'll do is the power within will soon serve the Emperor for 1 force. At the end of this activation, he may use this ability. He gains strain, then choose a character in this unit and an active objective within 3 of the character. The chosen character contests. The chosen character contests the chosen objective until the end of the turn. So he can
what?
He can contest objectives not within 2, but within 3 until the end of his turn. So if he is not in range to contest something, cool, I'll spend a force. Now I'm contesting it. And now that point is basically mine. Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's also free, too, with Anakin Skywalker's week if you need it.
Yeah.
So
it is really good.
Mike, are there objectives close enough that you can contest 2 objectives potentially with Vader?
Yes, there is.
No.
On if you put him, let's say, on Sabotage Showdown, and on the back objectives, if you have him within 2 of one of them, and then within 3 of the other, you can technically contest both of them if need be. Or there's a lot of different objectives where he can do that, where he can be within 2 of one, and then within 3 of the other, and then contest it.
This is so sneaky. Oh man,
it is really good. Now he does get the strain, which does make his next activation, unless he shakes that, kind of suck. But when you pair this squad with the Mandalorian squad, and then if he's able to wound something on his turn, and if he's by Mando, then Mando can potentially heal Vader for 2. There's a lot of different healings that you can have. Listeners, you may not know healing. You don't have to heal your character that's doing the healing. You can heal other characters within 2 of them. So if I go with Ahsoka Tano and I heal on her tree, if I'm within 2 of Vader, I can heal Vader instead of Ahsoka. So you don't have to do that. So there's a lot of ways that Vader can get healed to get the best benefit of his activations.
Right. Yeah. So how are you guys feeling? Well, Mike, how are you feeling about his tree? Like, is it a solid tree, you think?
I think, dude, his tree is awesome. His defensive expertise is bonkers. So it really incentivizes you not to attack him. So he has 9 health, protection, and steadfast. But his defensive expertise is, if he gets at least 1 expertise, he's doing a damage back to you. Which
That's
is
pretty funny.
It's just crazy. So if he gets 1 expertise, is 1 damage and a block. So if you're shooting at me and your character only has 1 health left, I'm just deflecting back at you and you are going down with me.
Wow.
Yeah, it is great. And then his attack expertise is also great because it has block mitigation. So as long as it gets 1 expertise, I am changing one of your blocks to a fail. If I get 3 expertise, I am getting a crit hit and changing a block to a fail. So it's just very incentivized with his attacking and with his damage. And then also the thing I love, pushes. I stated how much I love push on the first of the tree. He has that. First up the tree is a damage and a push. And then if you get 2 up the tree, it is 2 damage and 2 pushes. That is just solid.
I'm doing that all day. I am double pushing, and then he gets the dash on the Anakin Skywalker's week. So this guy's actually got far more mobility than most of the Vaders do.
Yeah. He is great with his mobility and with the consistency. History, honestly, the best thing you're expecting mostly with history, you're expecting mostly to go up 3 to 4 up the tree. You're not getting 5 as much. But when you go 3 to 4 up the tree, you're doing about 5 damage or 6 damage and 2 pushes and a condition. That is a solid activation tech.
That is very solid. Yeah.
The amount, I mean, he's got protection. He heals himself. He heals himself on his tree. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So he is the epitome. I'm going to go stand on a point, and this is my point. You are not taking it. You are not taking this point from me. That is what he does. And then it's like, cool, you take it from me. I am then going to the power within serve you, and I'm just going to take it back for nothing. So it's very difficult unless your opponent has a force push. So like a Ki Mundi or like a Plo Koon or a Kanan Jarrus to just force push him 3 away from the objective so he can't do his ability, they're almost incentivized to attack him. But then he is very tanky too. So it's actually very hard with them unless they take their primary character, like an Anakin, another Vader, or like a Bosk, or like a Rip Tamsin, and go in there and kill him, which those characters consistently do. But most primaries in the game, they can't consistently just one-shot this character. And if primaries can't do it, then a lot of secondaries and supports can't do it either.
Right. You'll need to do at least 2 attacks, right, to take him down most of the time.
Correct. You need at least 2 activations to take him out.
Yeah. But then he also has protection and steadfast, and that can be very annoying to get through as well, on top of the stuff that he has we talked about.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing of his tree is just the defensive expertise, just giving damage back at you.
Yeah, just a quick tech-saving way to sort of like represent the deflection or riposte that a lot of the lightsaber users have. So it's just like, oh yeah, I guess you could just represent by just putting a damage on expertise. So that's nice.
I like it a lot. I definitely encourage listeners, because that box, it is $50 and you only get Fulcrum and Vader, but I definitely encourage you to get that for both the characters. They're both really good. They're both a lot of fun on the table, especially Vader. I thought I was going to have the most fun with Ahsoka, but after playing with Vader with Cassie in a couple of weeks, it has been great. So yeah. Before we move on to the last unit, any final thoughts on Vader?
I think the supporting units here are going to make him even better.
Yes. Oh yeah, the Lando and Bartu.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about Lando and Bartu.
All right. So this is where the whole package synergizes well, if you guys see it now with them. So we have Bartu, as the community likes to call them, Lando and Bartu. Or, oh my god, Lando and R2, but we call them Bartu to symbolize it. So Bartu is 3-cost support. They are 7 health. They are the Rebel Alliance Scoundrel and Spy tag. So there we go. Scoundrel synergizes with the Mandalorian, as we are going to be pairing them a lot. So first thing on the card is Mingle. So for 1 force, each character in this unit may dash. If there are no enemy characters within 3, each character in the unit may do a full movement. So that's just really good. They can get up the board. They can double move. So as you can see with Vader, Ahsoka, and Bartu, they all have really good movement when they first do their activations. Their second thing is Element of Surprise. When this unit makes a combat action, before dice are rolled, it may use its ability. Choose characters in this unit, add 2 dice to the attack rolled. For the combat action, after the attack resolve, if they contain 2 or more fails, they get exposed. What do you guys think about this ability?
I don't think it's particularly great. I think it's okay if you need it for like a last second push, but being exposed might not matter depending on the rest of their kit.
Correct. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a very situational thing if you do it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Jian, I know you have these guys. Do you even have them built, or have you used them at all?
Nope, the Luke Skywalker box is not built at the moment.
Okay. All right. Okay, and then the forward planning. So this is the ability that kind of ties them all together. When an allied primary unit within 4 and an allied secondary unit within 4 starts its activation, they can use this ability. The active unit may remove 1 condition from themselves.
Oh, so you get rid of the strain from Vader. That's great.
Yeah. That is why I decided to put them in the list.
Yeah, and there's more to it, too. I think I see something else here that's actually really, really cool.
What would that be, Sean?
So, for Clever Disguise, the last thing that's on his kit, right? So, if they're in the order deck or in reserve, the characters cannot be targeted with ranged attacks. So, if these guys can't be targeted with ranged attacks, you're forced to hit your primary or your secondary, which you really don't want to be doing damage to Vader, because if you're forced to hit him, he'll just heal it back.
Yeah.
So It's almost kind of like wow, yeah, no, those last 2 really kind of push for why they should be included.
Yeah. And they're also just very mobile. So they fit, they synergize well with this whole Premier list is trying to do, mobility. Jian is a Web Warriors player at heart for MCP, and they're very mobile. And actually, he picks the Mandalorians, who are also very mobile. So all these units that are in this list, I think outside of honestly, I don't really think there is one that doesn't get up the board at that well. I think all units in all 4 squads get up the board pretty well.
Yeah, I think everything has like some sort of either active ability or some sort of what is it called when it's just that cross with the circle, like in it.
Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank too. I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. I'm just.
I think it's like a tactical ability. Is that what it's called?
Yes, yeah. Correct.
Yeah, so like everyone either has a tactical or an active ability that's like that you can pay force or no force into, and just be like, hey, we're just gonna move again, for no discernible reason. We just can,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sean, have you seen these guys on the table at all yet?
Yeah, I have, and I've seen them once on the table, and their stance card. Oh my goodness, I have been. Let's just say if they get 4 up the tree, they can give you every condition in the game.
Yes.
So, and it's happened, many times. These guys, listen. I know that this box is kind of not well favored in the community, but I think that I love all 3 of the. I mean, obviously we're not playing Leia or Luke, but Lando and R2 are excellent support characters.
So the thing with them, why the community hasn't used them a bunch, is because there wasn't a lot of point wise. There wasn't a lot of like
play with other I guess primary secondaries kits. Yeah, there wasn't much to mix with them at the time.
Their points didn't really match.
You had Ewoks that you could mix with them.
Yeah, but now that we have like say Ahsoka, and then you have the 5-cost Vader, that actually is the 5-cost Vader is just a solo piece that can work well. There is a lot more flexibility. I know a lot of players have been like pairing them with Jian Erso, like Jian Erso and K2SO, and these guys. There have been a great pairing that you can also do with them.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, a little bit of that is because you're able to, with Jian Erso, you're able to use their element of surprise ability for free, basically, when they go, by spending momentum instead of force. So they can always add the dice.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah. I've been on the receiving end of it, and it's very annoying.
That's very, very cool.
Yeah. Also, the good thing about them is since they're Invader Squad, if they get up their tree, they have 4 up the tree is 4 heals. Or, I mean, sorry, not 4, 3 heals. So they can heal Vader off the strain too by doing that. And healing some damage off of him. So you really kind of want them to stay by Vader a little bit. They could go do their own thing, but when they're closer to Vader, they can really support him too. And Vader and Lando and Bar2 can really just be on the side of the board, holding it down, and you could just go send Ahsoka off where she needs to go.
Yeah, no, that is pretty good. And I guess if you really need the element surprise can be there, like if you really, really need to hit the higher ends of the tree, right?
Yeah, correct. Exactly. Yeah, that is the list. Do you guys have any thoughts on the list? I guess before we just move into the last part of the episode. Oh, how long are we recording? Oh my god, it's been 2 hours.
No, I think it's all extremely solid. I think we did a nice deep dive into all 4 of these. So I think there's definitely a lot of content to kind of go through.
Yeah. I think at some point, like what I would like to talk about is like maybe like the missions and what each mission is kind of asking for as far as like squad archetypes goes, and that can help me sort of like figure out like which 2 squads should I be taking at each of these missions, right? If I potentially can be rolling into them if the opponent gets their mission roll.
Yeah, we can just touch on them briefly because there is only really there's 4 missions, but I have not seen anybody but me play First Contact, so I really just focus on the other 3.
Sure.
So we'll do Never Tell. Never Tell is the most spread out of the 3. That's the one that you were bringing. You can really play any of these squads on Never Tell since they all have very good mobility. And that one really just depends on like characters that you go against, like different squads that you see your opponent bring, less so on the mission type. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So you really just like you start with like the Mandalorian, and then depending on if let's say they bring like clone troopers like Delta Squad and Bad Batch, you can do the Mandalorian with the Ahsoka Squad since it is it's a fairly tanky squad that has also a lot of out of activation movements and that can do some shenanigans. Or if you see squads that have a hard time keeping up with you, then you like maybe some of the Empire squads you can bring like Mandalorian and the Armorer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Empire's not particularly mobile, but they're more like synergistic gun line or something, or
a lot of the Empire primaries and units are very killy. There are some primaries like Iden who is very mobile, but not a lot of the Empire units are as mobile.
Got it. Yeah, so the armor like will be your insurance because like things will probably go down, right? So it's just good to yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll do sabotage and shifting priorities. Those ones are very close together. Sabotage more so. For both of them, I would recommend bringing the Mandalorian. For them, just because he's very tanky and he's hard to kill. And also you could bring the Armorer to keep the Bo-Katan synergy up with those squads.
Yep.
And then same thing with Lord Maul. Lord Maul, since it's very close quarters, he likes to be up in the fight. So you could bring the Lord Maul squad to really get up in the fight.
Okay, so for shifting priorities and what was it? Sabotage Showdown, you said? Like we can probably just go with either the Mando squads, right? And without the and not Ahsoka, right?
Yeah. Well, you can also do Ahsoka if you like. But just to give you a little bit more flavor, because Maul does hit like a punch. So since you're going to be very close quartered together, he can hit a lot more stuff. And then same thing with the armor, since everything would be more close quartered. You could just do the armor and Maul squad, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I was thinking that like since Bo can probably actually like be within that sphere of influence, maybe that's an okay like double squad to take there.
Yeah, you just take the armor and you take Maul, and you just go have a good time with the fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, do you have any thoughts with that?
No, I think that all sounds pretty good to me.
Okay. So I just noticed we're almost 2 hours in. So real quickly, I'll just do how can we expand on this? I think how I would do is I have a box in mind, and then I guess I'll go over my box. If Sean, you have a box in mind that you would recommend Jin to get to expand on this.
Yeah, sure. You want to go first?
Yeah. So the one that I have is actually the Bounty Hunter box that comes with Boba Fett, Dengar, Bosk, and IG-88. So with this box, you get 4 Bounty Hunters that are all secondaries. The 2 secondaries that I'm mainly looking at are... Actually, before I say that one, let me just make sure. He's not a Mandalorian, right? No, he's not. The 2 main secondaries that I'm looking at that you can expand with is Dengar, and you can do IG-88 if you like. So the reason for Dengar, the main one, instead of doing Ezra, you can pair Dengar with the Mandalorian squad. Since you typically want to hold Mandalorian's activation and then you end up reserving him a lot throughout the game anyway, Dengar has an ability that's called Being Underestimated has its value. When you spend force to put an ally bounty hunter unit card in reserve, you spend 1 less force. So essentially, you could put Mandalorian's card in reserve for free when he pops up if you don't want to go with him yet. And then Dengar, just like Vader, has 9 health and steadfast and is immune to pin. So he's very tanky and he's very difficult to take down.
Yeah, being immune to pin is really big to make sure that he always just gets to be where he needs to be, right?
Yes, correct. That is probably one of the best immunities that you can have in the game. Honestly, I think that is the best immunity you can have in the game. I know there's other characters immune to other stuff, but I definitely like the immunity to pin the most. Sean, have you played or seen Dengar on the table?
I haven't seen him on the table at all yet.
Dude, he's fun. I have mine painted up. I love playing with him.
Ooh, okay, I'm gonna have to give him a look-see because I have not played or seen anyone who really like has given him any love.
Yeah, he's great. If he gets full up on his tree, he gives out 3 conditions: disarm, strain, and expose, while doing 7 damage. and he also can just do 2 pushes instead. So he has a pretty consistent tree.
Mhm.
And then he also has explosive regard. So when this unit is wounded by a melee attack, after Figure Dissolve, you roll 5 dice, and then the unit that wounded him suffer damage for each crit and hit result. So if you attack him with a melee attack and your character has like 2 to 3 damage on them, and you wound Dengar, Dengar might potentially wound you back, just like how Maul can wound you back. Yeah. And then just like all the other bounty hunters, he has payday. So when during his activation, he could spend a force to basically gain the Mandalorian tag if he chooses, which is also really good. So he can't be a Mandalorian on his turn to get the benefits of being around all the Mandalorians. And then the second guy I have is IG-88 that I was thinking you can replace actually Darth Vader for, as he's another 5-cost secondary. He has I Engineer Success, which is the bottom of his card for 1 force. When an allied bounty hunter character makes an attack as part of combat action, if the target is contesting an active objective token, if you do not control, they add 3 dice to the attack roll. So it just can give Mandalorian more consistent dice.
Oh yeah, and it's any range, huh?
Yep. Yeah. There's no range on that. And then he has a really good tree too. His tree is so wonky because it can go in 3 different paths if you want. You can go push heavy, condition heavy, damage heavy, wherever you would like.
Oh yeah, this tree is really all over the place, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. He has a lot of different things that he can do on his tree. So yeah,
Okay.
those are the 2 squads. I mean, Jin, what do you think about Dengar and IG-88?
Yeah, I think Dengar looks really good. He's just kind of a bruiser, right? That he can just start bullying people.
Yeah, yeah. Dengar's really the model that I was looking at for you with these squads.
And yeah, IG-88 looks definitely looks interesting. I don't know because like the utility that Vader has versus what he has, like yeah, I guess it's comparable, right? Depending on if you want something more solo, more support.
Yeah, they play very different on the table, both of them. Vader is definitely a more control piece, while IG-88 is a more damage piece. So it really just depends on what you want. So yeah.
Yeah, both are good. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Sean, what box do you got?
Sean, are you muted?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was. Thank you. It's more of a tech piece. It's more of a tech piece, but this is some rescue squad pack. Mike, I don't know if you've played with
which
So that's Leia, Luke, Han, and Chewie, and Stormtrooper.
Yeah. That squad is really good.
So really good, but Han and Chewie being scoundrels also kind of, I know they don't really fit in with Ahsoka because of the cost, but something cool is the we're all fine here now, thank you, where if they wound an enemy unit, then you can heal and refresh force to kind of keep that little train rolling.
Mm-hmm.
I know you can't do it because the numbers won't. Well, I guess you could put it in a separate squad and make it work, but these guys are also just tanky support characters that deal damage.
Yeah, they got 10 health.
Yeah, and they put out damage. Like they push and they can do some serious work, as well as refreshing force and being mobile. Gaining tags, I don't really think matters for this, but I think
they already have the scoundrel tag, which is really cool.
Yep. But changing the tag, I don't really think matters in terms of. I guess you could use it to synergize with. You could change yourself to be a Mandalorian tag and do something with that, but
yeah. So if you like pair them with the armorer, they can at the start of the activation, they can pay a force to gain the Mandalorian tag. That way, their other 2 abilities become free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can, because these guys are kind of force heavy.
Yeah.
So they do fit the bill of kind of any way you can kind of refresh or lessen force. These guys feel even better. So I think they're kind of a nice little shout out.
Yeah.
But they also just function well together. I know they're a really popular kit, and I have them. I just haven't put them together yet.
Oh, they're a blast on the table. I play them a bunch.
Oh, you have?
Yes, I played just them with. So a fun list I was running for a while was Ahsoka with Han and Chewie and Luke Skywalker support, and then Cassian Andor with Darth Vader and Rebel Commandos.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
I was running that in the summer for a couple weeks just to have a little bit of fun, and it was honestly not that bad.
Yeah, these guys are really cool.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. Jen, have you seen them on the table at all?
Nope. I stopped playing at a certain point, so there was like a certain wave onward that I just haven't seen any of the new models for. Like I stopped playing before Luke Skywalker came out, I think.
Oh, okay.
Or sorry, the Mando box, the armor box, I should say, is the last one I saw. So anything that's past that, I haven't seen yet.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. Yeah, they're actually really solid. And then another primary that you can pair with Mandalorian or the armor that is solid is Princess Leia Charming the Last, as she has a really good revenge trigger.
Yeah, it's a solid box.
Yeah, very solid.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that is really it. You guys have any clothing thoughts?
I think we gave Jen a lot to think about.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you both of you guys for walking me through this. It was a very fun, very useful information to get that sort of breakdown. And yeah, I will start building these boxes, and I'll try to get at least a couple of these squads to the table. It's hopefully relatively soon.
Also, too, Shatterpoint on TTS is surprisingly smooth.
You know what? I'm glad to hear that, because the last time I played it, like a year ago, I did not have fun. But now everyone keeps telling me that it's smooth now and that it's fine.
It is. It's actually, I like it better than MCP. Funny enough.
That is very surprising. I remember it being so janky, and I was like, I'm never playing this on TTS again. But people have been telling me lately that it's not that bad.
Whoever worked on it did some serious overhaul on it, because it is very crisp and clean now.
You know what, Sean? We might have to get a game in sometime in the next week.
We're gonna have to, absolutely.
Yeah, if you're telling me this, I will definitely like to get as much Shatterpoint games in as possible. I freaking love this game.
Oh, me too. I hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's it, listeners. Thank you all for listening to this very, very, very long 2-hour episode of list building. And to close off, I'll say Godspeed, Mando.